Gather round, Bad Witches. My name is Jade, and welcome to my Bad Witch Emporium. Today I wanted to talk to you about what we can do to help our situations, our circumstances, to further our causes, and help ourselves, especially in the midst of chaos. It is so easy to get caught up in a whirlwind of chaos in today's age, right? We just open our phones or we walk out the door and it's just chaos, right? So what can we do to help our situation? First thing I'm going to recommend is grounding, centering your energy. Because when we are constantly checking our phones, we are tapped into the news, seeing what's going on, right? It can be very dysregulating. And I don't want you to feel guilty for needing to put your phone down for even a few minutes. Even if it's a 5-minute timer saying, I'm going to put my phone down and just take a deep breath, that's you setting a boundary, right? You not perpetually watching the state of the world is not going to stop the world, right, from happening. And it's not going to hurt your cause if you are searching for justice, if you're searching for change, right? Panicking is not going to further your causes either. It's not. It's not going to help your situation. They want you to be panicked. They want you to be dysregulated because when you are in this state, you are in survival mode, you don't know how to function. You don't know how to think clearly. It's like you're blindfolded. You can't even see what's in front of you. They want that. When we ground ourselves, when we center our energies, we are able to gain clarity, perspective on what's going on around us. It helps us come up with solutions, creative solutions. And a lot of times these solutions might not be what you want. It might be very uncomfortable, but they are solutions. They are. So the first thing we can do is ground ourselves. And how do we do that? It's by putting your phone down, of course, just for a few minutes, and being present. If we can look at one thing, right? Identify one thing, and maybe we smell 2 smells, right? Touch 3 different things. We are activating our senses. We are bringing ourselves out of our minds, out of our spiraling thoughts, and we are saying, oh, I'm here right now in this very moment in my body. Because when we are overthinking, our mind is swirling, our adrenaline is running, we're swirling in our minds. We are not in our bodies. We are out somewhere else. So by just putting our phone down and identifying things, right? Okay, I can see the corner of that wall. Okay, I can, smell an incense, or I can smell a candle. Okay, I can touch my animal. I can touch my couch. I can touch my computer, whatever the case is, right? When we start to go down the list, even taste, right? Putting a little salt, it's going to taste bad, but it brings us back. Or a lemon. It forces you to be present, right? So when we activate our senses, we're able to bring our own minds back to our body, back to the present. We can also use this with the elements. A lot of people know touch grass, right? The earth is very good to ground with. However, you can do this with any element. You really can. You can take a bath. Water can be very grounding, very soothing, right? Taking a shower, washing away all the chaos. We can do that. So when we utilize the elements to ground, again, touching grass is another thing we can do. We can go on our local trail, connect to our nature or the local park. If you're too nervous to do that, or maybe you don't have access to something like that, you can stay in the comfort of your home like you're here with me, and do a guided meditation, a grounding guided meditation. There are so many guided meditations, and I recommend them, especially if you're not used to centering your energies or even meditating in general. Guided meditations can be extremely helpful to train our focus in the present. And meditation is just bringing awareness, right? We might have a lot of thoughts going on in our head. Meditation is going to bring that to the front. We're going to be more aware of what's going on in our body. Maybe there's a tightness in our chest or a weight on our shoulders, right? Doing these body scans and feeling like, where are we feeling these certain sensations? That in itself is very powerful, because then we can start to come up with solutions. And setting boundaries, right? Maybe the news, what's happening in the world. Maybe we need to put boundaries when we fixate, right, on these energies of, the state of the world. We can't get out of it. And when you are able to step out just for even, like I said, 5 minutes, even if it's 5 minutes a day or an hour a day, that will help you and your family, your community, your circumstances more than perpetually watching the world all day, checking your phone 5 minutes every few seconds, right? It will do more justice to ground yourself and come up with creative solutions than to doom scroll for hours and hours and hours and hours on end. I guarantee you. When we are able to center ourselves, we can come up with creative solutions. This is where you utilize your specific skill set, your talents, the things that you know best. We're all good at something different. And when we're able to further utilize this for our causes, that's making progress. For artists, it's making art. But they have to get into that flow state first. The same thing goes for anything else. Anything that you are good at can be of use in your circumstance, right? Whether that's making money, raising awareness, whatever the case is, it's finding a solution, creative solution. When we're able to think creatively, innovatively, that's when we make the impact. That's when we make the impact. And then that gives other people inspiration to take action, to do something, right? It gives other people energy and inspiration to further the cause. If you feel very moved by art, right? Maybe it's a political painting and you feel it deeply. Now you're motivated to further this cause. It's the same thing. So maybe you're good at a certain skill set. Maybe it's coding, maybe it's, engineering, or I don't know. Literally anything. You can apply it to your circumstance and find a solution. This is also called alchemy. The greatest alchemists of our time use the resources they were given. They're very resourceful. Use the resources they were given and turn it into something completely different, something they want in their life. And that could be anything. It could be fame, it could be money, it could be a better job, a better circumstance, whatever the case is. They were able to take whatever they were given and use it to something productive. So, I hope this helps. I hope maybe this sheds some light on everything that's going on. There is always going to be a solution. It might not be the solution that you imagined, that you wanted. It might be uncomfortable to do, but there's always going to be a solution for the issue. There's always going to be a way to further the cause, to make progress, but panicking is never one of them. I can guarantee you. So just take a deep breath. You're going to be okay. And get out there and make your way. Blessed be baddies. I hope this helps.